Another day, another box crunching episode. Here we are again. We had just 8 games tonight. It was a pretty chill slate. Some blowouts, some really intriguing games, and I'm here to recap as always. Let me know your thoughts about today's games, favorite memes, favorite moments, anything you want to talk about from today's games or as NBA overall. Leave it down in the comments or send it to my socials. There is a link down below. Watch out the latest Nets video. I'm pretty proud of that one, even though the mic is still an issue, and I'm looking into it, and hopefully I can get a new mic soon, and by then it will be even more better for these episodes. So let's jump into it with the Pistons against the Magic, as my Magic lose 2 games in a row. Rough back-to-back nights for my Magic video and my Magic stock. So yeah, the Magic weren't great tonight. Their defense was really off, and it was just a nasty performance in and out. And not many players showed up, right? You got Wendell Carter getting more minutes in. He was 16 and 8, which was great, but nobody else really played solid. I guess Bol had a good, okay game, and Franz Wagner had an okay game, but it was really nasty stuff. Their bench got outscored 76-43, which is not great, and they made just 5 threes to Detroit's 18 threes. A rare hot night for the Pistons from the 3-point line, and it was over. Shout out to the bench of the Pistons. As I said, they outscored the Magic 76-43, and they were just better the whole game, unfortunately. I was hoping for Orlando comeback the whole time, but it just didn't happen, and the Pistons played better. Sadiq Bey off the bench, you had 28, 8 and 4. He was 8 of 16. Alec Burks had 32, 2 and 4, 2 steals, 10 of 11, 6 of 7 on threes. Incredible game from him. Hamidou Diallo was great, and the starters didn't shoot well, but still some solid stuff. But we have to, of course, talk about the Killian Hayes incident, which, he's gonna get suspended. Question is for how long, and it might be better for Detroit, if we're being honest, even though he has had some brighter spots lately and has been looking like maybe an NBA player, but yeah, it's nasty. And of course Mo Wagner did something that's of course not the greatest, but I mean, no, you can't punch a man, and especially from behind to the head. He looked kind of unconscious, and he probably was unconscious, which is scary. And we all know what happened in Detroit, right? We don't have to talk about that, but yeah, unfortunately that happened. So that was kind of overshadowing how great the Pistons played a little bit, but here we are, and let's just focus on the Pistons playing really great. Shout out Alec Burks and Sadiq Bey. Then we head into Washington as the Wizards blow out the Suns in the 4th quarter. Of course, the main topic for the Suns is that Devin Booker has been ruled out for at least the next month, which is really bad for them, of course, because he's their best player, and it's gonna be a rough month for the Suns. We will see how they hold up, but they didn't start off great against the Wizards, who have been playing better, have been getting healthier, and they outplayed the Suns tonight. They got off to an early lead, the Wizards. The Suns came back and got it down to just 1 point in that 3rd quarter, but the Wizards took off, and that 4th quarter was just special from them. And just some notes I got from this game was that the Wizards were scoring in the paint at will. They had 60 points in the paint to the Suns 28, and 50 bench points to 24 Suns bench points. So yeah, the Suns were just outclassed tonight. Shout out DeAndre Ayton for 31 and 7, I guess, but nobody else played really great. CPT had 20 points, I suppose that's noteworthy. But it's all about the Wizards. Kyle Kuzma was good, 22, 5 and 7, 8 of 17. Kristaps 22, 6 and 2. And Monte Morris was back with 12, 6 and 8, which is great. Dillon Wright off the bench was solid. You got Rui Hachimura with 30 points off the bench. Shout out to Rui, my guy. And the Wizards are finally getting healthy. Of course, still without Bradley Beal, who got injured yesterday. Hopefully, he can finally stay healthy, because it's been a rough season for him so far. But the Wizards might have something in them, but it's more likely than not they'll still be trading Kuzma. But they got this month to maybe, show some great signs, and maybe they'll stick with it, can sneak into the playoffs, who knows. Next, we head to Atlanta as the Hawks blow a game at home to the Nets. And it's, kinda wrong of me to say they blow this game, because they were without Trae Young and Clint Capella, and of course that's 2 starters missing, and I think they didn't even have DeAndre Hunter, if I'm correct. Yeah, they didn't even have DeAndre Hunter, so they were missing 3 starters, which is not great, of course, and the Nets have been hot, as you could see in my video, but they got up to a great lead in that first half. Then in the 3rd quarter they cooled down a lot. They scored just 17 points, lost that 3rd quarter 27-17, and in the 4th quarter the Nets got up to a 10-point lead, but the Hawks fought back and they could have won this game, but but they didn't call timeout for some reason, and then they just took a 30-footer. Of course, Dejounte Murray missed the free throw late, which would have tied the game, which of course would have been nicer to have than you having to go for it, but you had 2 timeouts and you take a Steph Curry shot, so I don't know what the hell that was, but I guess they wanted to caught the Nets off guard, but the Nets didn't, and it ended up like this. Shout out to Kyrie, he was sensational in that fourth quarter. 28, 5 and 8 on the night, 11 of 22 from the field. KD 26, 16 and 8. Not his efficient game that we're used to. Maybe his first under 50% from the field this month. Who knows, actually. I should probably check that up after the night. 2 blocks also. Shout out KD. Nick Claxton with 17 and 10 and 6 blocks. He's been really good. Ben had 10, 5 and 2. Pretty solid. Patty Mills off the bench with 12. TJ Warren had 2 just. They didn't shoot the lights out, as I was talking about, but still 50% from the field, which is crazy, and they get a win. And on the Hawks side, Dejounte 24, 9 and 8. He missed the free throw, as I said, late, 10 of 26. At least he's getting back into more rhythm, and hopefully he can, be back to his normal self. John Collins has been a real positive these last 2 games, at least. He's been playing some good basketball. Onyeka had 18 and 13, some good basketball from him. Aaron Holiday, 18 points from the starting role. Jalen Johnson with 14 points off the bench. Bogdanovic with 14. Some signs of life from the Hawks, but they need to get healthy, which, they have not been able to for most of the season. And I think it's time to go for Nate McMillan, but I'll make a separate video about that rather sooner than later, because my homie needs it. My homie needs it, and I have to be there for him with that. So the Hawks need a change video will be coming. Next, we head to Miami as the Heat blow out the Lakers. The Lakers were rough tonight. LeBron 27, 9 and 6 with 6 turnovers. An okay game from LeBron, not his best from the last few games, but still pretty solid. Schroeder with 15 in the starting role. Raz with 15, 4 and 8 off the bench. But you got Lonnie Walker playing 20 minutes with 0 points. Austin Reeves, who's been really good, to be fair to him, had 0 points in 20 minutes, so some rough outputs tonight, and they were just very short on a back-to-back. They were very sloppy with the ball. They had 24 turnovers to the Heat's just 5 turnovers, which when you have almost 20 more turnovers than the other team, you're not gonna win many games unless you shoot like God, and they shot 13 of 36 from the 3 and 48% from the field, so yeah, not the performance you want, and the Heat were healthy for the most part. They were without just Kyle Lowry, and Kyle Lowry is really good for them and a really important piece, but they got Jimmy back, Bam back, and they were great. Jimmy with 27, 5, 4 and 6 steals, Bam with 23 and 14 and 2 blocks. He was really good, and you got some contributions from the others. Caleb Martin with 13, Tyler Hero with 18, Gabe Vincent with 12, and Max Strus with 7 off the bench, even though I really dislike Max Strus' game these last few months it has been probably, and he started off so great. But Duncan Robinson is shooting the ball pretty well, and he maybe he can be useful for them. But the biggest story from this game was, of course, the LeBron, comments after the game that he still wants to compete, that he's a winner, and he wants to be on a winning roster. And obviously that was a shot at the Lakers. Well, maybe not a shot, that was just his observation with how they've been playing and how the roster has been constructed for the Lakers and how, their chances of making the playoffs are. So we'll see if the Lakers make a trade. Maybe he could request a trade, who knows, but he signed the extension, so it would be weird if he got traded this year, but who knows with LeBron, man, anything's possible. We'll have to wait and see. Next, we head to Chicago as the Bulls and DeMar DeRozan, Aujul, Giannis, and the Bucks. And the Bucks have had a quite rough month, and it felt like, Giannis has had a pretty rough, a lot of rough games this month, even though, of course, 45, 22, and 7 with 5 turnovers, and 17 of 39 off the field is, weird to be considered rough, but I would say it was a rough game for Giannis overall, even though he had 45. It's, well, man, that sounds stupid, dude, don't I? But when you watch the game, it, didn't feel like the regular 45. But to be fair to him, Grayson Allen was 4 of 16. You got Pat Connaughton playing 21 minutes, 0 points, and of course he was down Jrue and Chris Middleton, so those are your 2 other stars missing. Bobby Portis was 20 and 10 off the bench. He was really solid in his minutes, I felt like, but it was a rough loss for the Bucks, and they shot 110 shots to the Bulls 92 shots, so that's insanity. They shot 37% from the field and 20% from the 3-point line. yeah, rough overtime loss for them, but a good win for the Bulls, who are now back in the play-in, and they've been playing some better basketball, especially the offense. That is, of course, what they need, because the offense is their defense, kinda. To if you want to talk about it, but DeMar 42, 10, 5, 2 and 2, a really great game from him. 15 of 25 from the field, 12 of 14 from the free throw line. Zach LaVine was really good, 24 points. Nikola Vucevic hit that clutch three-pointer down the stretch in that OT. Goran Dragic with 12 off the bench. Andre Drummond had 7 and 12 off the bench. He was really good. And yeah, the Bulls are a weird bunch, right? They won both games against the Celtics and the Bucks so far this season. Ain't it funny, right? That their 4 wins have come against these two teams. Ironic. Next, we head to New Orleans as the Pelicans, and Zion put on a show against the T-Wolves. And by put on a show against the T-Wolves, I mean barely beat them by 1 point on Edwards' missed game winner. And yeah, the Timberwolves are now on a 3-game losing streak, I think, or maybe even 4-game losing streak. They've been really rough lately. And Rudy Gobert has not been it. He has been really rough lately, and I'm not sure. There has been that article that they feel like maybe he's, they got to ask themselves if he's the same player that he was in Utah, and it's a real question, because Naz Reid has been looking better. I'm not gonna lie, man. Naz Reid has been looking like the better center this year so far. So the trade is looking dumber and dumber each day, and we all felt like it was a dumb trade nonetheless, but it feels even worse and worse. Then D'Lo had 27 and 4 assists on 8 of 17 from the field. He talked about how Giannis plays like a football player, but those comments were kind of stupid. But shout out D'Lo, I guess. He's always had some stupid comments. So that's him. But New Orleans, Zion was back. 43 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. 14 of 21 from the field, 14 of 19 from the free throw line. He was great. Shout out to him. Trey Murphy was great with 21.6 of 8 from the field. CJ was pretty solid with 20.6 assists. And, well, everybody else was there. Jonas and Najee Marshall. The starting lineup played really solid, but the bench didn't, provide anything tonight. I felt like Jose Alvarado wasn't great, and it really hurt them in this game, but they got it done eventually. And like I said, the bench points were insane. They scored 11 bench points to the T-Wolves 30 points, so that's a big separation. But the bench has been really good overall otherwise, so one rough game from the bench doesn't mean anything, because we know they got a pretty solid bench and still missing Brandon Ingram. So yeah, hopefully we can finally get to see Zion and Ingram too soon. Next we head to the Bay as my Warriors on a 3-game winning streak, the best home team in the NBA, 18 and 18, back to 500, get a much needed win against the Jazz. And the Jazz, I mean, they have been still good, but not as good as they started. Lauri Markkanen 29 and 16, he started off the game really hot, had 7 of 13 from the 3-point line, but got kinda cold later. Jordan Clarkson was good, 22 points, he felt like he was really good. Mike Conley had a rough night, it felt like, from watching it. Jared Vanderbilt was a menace, he had 10 and 9, but to me, when I watched this game, it felt like he had like 15 boards, man. He was everywhere on those boards, and it was, it was not fun for me, but shout out Jared Vanderbilt, he's such an awesome player. Kelly Olynyk had a rough night, that was, something also I noticed, and Malik Beasley didn't shoot the ball also, he had a rough night, and that was the best thing for my Warriors, and they played some really good defense also, some lucky misses for us, but we played some really good defense on this home stretch so far, and that's been the most important thing. And there was, of course, still no Wiggins, no Clay, no Steph, and we won this game. Jordan Poole had 26 points, even though he still has not been great, but he gets to the line at least, and still okay-ish game from him. But it was the Dante DiVincenzo show who was sensational with 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. He had 5 threes out of 9. He was great. Draymond turned into 2017 Draymond on defense in that fourth quarter. He was special. That fourth quarter from the Draymond defensively, especially in those last 3 minutes, were just special. 6 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks on the night for Draymond, and he has been looking like himself lately. And I really like the bench contributions also. James Wiseman was solid in his minutes, not his better stint, but still a good stint. PBJ, Patrick Baldwin Jr. had a great stint, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 of 5 from the 3-point line, and he looked like he belonged out there, which is the most important thing you can say about a first-round pick, a rookie that had some rough college experiences, as we know about Patrick Baldwin Jr. And he has the shot, man. He has one hell of a better jumper, and he's been going in, and I mean, I would like to see more of him actually, but we'll see what Steve Kerr cooks up. And Ty Jerome, shout out to Ty Jerome. The Ty Jerome game continues. 17 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists and 7 of 14 from the field. He was great. He was just great, man. And the two-way players have been great. So the Warriors look better. They still have like 5 games to go on this homestand with Wiggins and Steph returning at least at the end of the road trip. Both should be back, hopefully. And, things are looking up in my world. And last but not least, let's head to Sacramento as the Nuggets and Kings play on a back-to-back night. This time the Kings can light the beam. And we had a fun interaction on Twitter about lighting the beam tonight from the Kings, Twitter account, which was great to see. And they rallied in that fourth quarter. They went down like 19 in this game, then like 16 with the fourth quarter to go, and they rallied in that fourth quarter and were sensational and just, outscored the Nuggets, whose defense weren't great on a back-to-back tonight. They were missing Jamal Murray and Bones Highland. Even though I really like him, his defense is really rough, and overall his game has been kind of rough this year, but it was still one of his better games in the starting with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 11 assists, but it's not been feeling great, right? And the bench has been an issue, as we all know. They got outscored 26-46 from the bench, which, the Kings bench is really good, but the Nuggets bench has not been really good, which we all know. And Jokic, 40 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 turnovers though, and he was great, but it just couldn't finish the deal, which is unfortunate for them, because, the West is so funny right now. Like my Warriors are like 5 games back from the fun seed, which is, the West has been funny this year, just funny. 19 points for MPJ also. He's been back in the lineup and playing, which is great to see. And the Nuggets, play against a good team and just lost on a back-to-back night against the same team. It's bound to happen. And shout out to Sabonis, Fox, and Monk. 3 scorers scored 30 points, which is incredible. Sabonis with 31, 10, and 5. He was sorely missed yesterday. He was great today, 12 of 18 from the field. De'Aaron Fox with 12 of 21 from the field, 31 points, 13 assists. That was one of his best games of the season, I feel like. And Malik Monk off the bench. The bench has been great for the Kings, and Malik Monk has been great, and he was great tonight. 33 points, 12 of 21 from the field. He missed that free throw late, but it didn't matter in the end because he made the other free throw and they won by 1. So shout out to Malik Monk for a great game, and shout out to Sacramento for lighting the beam because that shit's awesome. And that does it for today's recaps. Some interesting stuff happened tonight. Shout out Zion. That was the most fun thing for me after the Warriors, because my Warriors winning is always the most fun to me. Some really good battles, some really good duels, some blowouts in here and there, but a really fun night actually overall in the NBA. And tonight we got the Thunder against the Hornets. Well, that's hopefully Terry Rozier doesn't go for my fantasy. Cavaliers, Pacers. Oh yeah, I'm tuned into that one. Well, I'm tuned into everything, but I can't wait for Pacers, guys. Celtics, Clippers. That should be a good one. Grizzlies, Raptors. Grizzlies in Toronto. The Toronto Raptors need another win. That should be a fun one also. Knicks, Spurs could be a fun one. Rockets, Mavs. The Mavs have had tight games almost every game, so that probably is going to be a tight game, which is always fun. Luka in tight games is always fun. So, not that many games. We have 6 games on the slate. All of them look pretty fun. I'll be here to cover them all as always, as you know. And I'll see you all tomorrow with another box score watching episode.